The United States has never declared war on Pakistan, but the CIA's drone program has launched missiles at hundreds of targets across the region. In June, armed drones hit Taliban hideouts, killing at least 10 militants in response to a deadly raid at Karachi's International Airport. Top government officials say Islamabad had given U.S. express approval for the strikes. Joining us now from Pakistan is Sultan Mehmood Hali. He's a veteran of the Pakistan Air Force and host of the talk show Defense and Diplomacy for PTV News. Sir, thank you for being with us.
Hello, how are you?
So did the United States have approval from the Pakistani government for the latest drone strike?
Well, frankly speaking, the Pakistani government has been keeping it under the wraps, but we have come to know through oblique means, like President Musharraf initially had kept saying that he never permitted the drones, but in his book, In the Line of Fire, he admits that tacit approval was given. Same was with the government of Mr. Zardari, and now with Mr. Nawaz Sharif in power, it has been said that the drone attacks are detrimental to the ongoing operations against the militants. But I believe for this particular strike, approval was given, and not only approval was given, there was jubilation when the results showed that at least 10 militants were terminated.
So why does Pakistan feel the need to publicly condemn these drone strikes?
The fact is that the drone strikes in the past, they caused a lot of collateral damage, and the government of Pakistan did not want to take responsibility for the collateral damage, and it thought it better to let the heat of the strikes be taken by the US government or the CIA. And moreover, you see, there was a backlash also because there was actually an increase in militancy. The drones did not appear to be getting the desired effect that either the US government or the Pakistan government wanted. And instead, there were more recruits because the militants and the miscreants, they were trying to harp on and benefit from the people who were being struck in the collateral damage, and they were appealing to their sense of loss and asking them to join in their effort. And that way, the government of Pakistan wanted to make sure that it has no part in it. But it kept denying in publicly, but privately, it has been giving its tacit approval.
So do you believe, sir, that the civilian deaths basically have created a powerful recruiting tool for terrorist organizations?
Definitely, I not only believe that, I have gone around and talked to people, and if you must be knowing of two specific cases. One is a journalist by the name of Kareem, who is suing the US government. In fact, he has named the US president, the director of the CIA, as well as the head of the CIA in Islamabad, as being responsible for the death of his brother and his nephew. And there have been other lawsuits also. So the government of Pakistan did not want any part of it. And more importantly, I have talked to many of the relatives who have lost their kith and kin in the drone strikes, and they have not only been heard, they have been demonstrating, and some of them have told us that they have been approached by the miscreants and asked to join in their cause for causing terror and mayhem as a retaliation for the loss of their lives. So there is no doubt about it that the drone strikes have resulted in an increase in terrorism rather than reducing it, as has been propagated.
The United States started using drones 10 years ago in Pakistan. Then there was it sort of halted the strikes for about 6 months until the attack at Karachi International Airport. Why do you think the US government stopped it during that time period?
I personally believe, I have no evidence of it, but that when Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif visited the US, he took President Obama in confidence and said that the government of Pakistan was trying to engage the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, that is the Pakistani brand of the Taliban, into peace talks. And he did not want that the peace talks should be disrupted by the drones, because if you recall, in 2013, in May, when at that time also it was apparent that the TTP were going to engage the government of Pakistan in peace talks, when the head of the TTP was taken out through a drone attack, and the TTP decided to drop the peace talks. So perhaps the government of USA decided to honor the request by the government of Pakistan and stop the drone attacks till the heinous attack at Karachi Airport, which not only took a number of lives but created mayhem for at least 6 hours.
Hali, does the Pakistani Air Force have the capability to intercept and destroy the drones if they wanted to do that?
Well, the Pakistani Air Force actually has developed its own capability and its own drones. Mostly they are with the Italian joint venture with Falco, but these are drones only for surveillance. They are not armed drones. But the government of Pakistan has been requesting that the US government provide it with the armed drones so that it can carry out its own attacks, and that way it will be able to use its own intelligence and perhaps avoid the collateral damage and target those miscreants for which it has very accurate and intimate knowledge that the miscreants are over there and they are eliminated in time.
What about as far as unity goes between the government and top military leaders, generals? Do you think everyone is on board? Do you think there's division perhaps? According to secret diplomatic cables leaked by WikiLeaks, Pakistan's army chief not only agreed to the drone flights, but in 2008 requested that Americans increase them. So is there a divide here?
Not really, you see, because in the past, if you have followed the events in Pakistan, the military was calling the shots despite there being a democratic government. And the democratic government of Mr. Asif Ali Zardari, who was the president then, had thought it prudent to let the military handle the entire effort of the war on terror. So there may have been apparent, imbalance in the civil-military relations, but it was the military that was directly calling the shots. It was the military that was directly talking to the US government as well as to its counterparts and the CIA. So in case there was a direct communication, it was by design and not by default.
Sir, what would you ultimately like to see in respect of US use of drones in your country, in Pakistan?
Well, frankly speaking, now that the US government and the US forces are withdrawing from the main theater of war, that is Afghanistan, perhaps I would like to see an end to the drones, at least the drone attacks conducted by the CIA. But in case the technology is passed on to the government of Pakistan, then maybe they would like to use it with non-kinetic forces, non-kinetic means, that is through the ground attacks, through stopping the financial aid, through blocking them, through the use of intelligence, and that way perhaps it will be more prudent as well as more fruitful and bear fruition, that is try and eliminate the miscreants from this particular region.
And sir, one last question, very quickly I have to ask you, do you think the use of drone strikes has been an effective way of rooting out terror in Pakistan?
No, I'm afraid I don't agree with that. The drone attacks have been counterproductive. And despite the claims by the US, I also believe that they were illegal.
All right, Sultan Mehmood Ali, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, sir.